Hey guys, you've joined us live on Moneycontrol Live. I'm Manisha Gupta and we're talking about gold prices right now because in last 24 hours, one of the headlines clearly comes in from gold where we have seen the prices gain up to a 2-week highs. It has been a strong gain overnight. Not only are we above $1,900 per ounce, but 1920 is what we are nudging right now. And then even better gains came in for silver with 4% of gains. We are up at around $24 an ounce. The strength in precious metal comes in as after we have seen markets see a decline in case of US dollar, and of course it has been about the treasury yields also coming off. Those are all the cues for today. You have loads of data coming in from US, starting right from unemployment claims, durable goods orders, Jackson Hole Symposium that also begins today. Of course we will hear the announcement or the statement from Jerome Powell that comes in tomorrow, but the markets have seen a lot of gain come back in last 24 hours, and those are the gold prices in various cities as we see them. Silver in any case has had positive fundamentals to begin with. This is going to be yet another year when you are looking at deficit continuing, and the markets are looking at not just the retail demand but also the industrial demand that has been supportive for the silver prices. To put all of those cues in context, we are now joined by a very special guest, Mr. Somsundaram PR from World Gold Council. Somai, thank you so much for joining us, and the last 24 hours clearly making a lot of news when it comes to gold. What is your sense on the global cues to begin with, and how would you look at impact coming in, especially from Jackson Hole?
Well, as we said, gold is poised for a bull run. There is, all the pointers are towards it, and you also know, Manisha, we don't forecast the price ever, nor do we give advice on the investment. But we have always been saying it's very strongly poised, given all that is happening with several rate increases. Gold is still closer to that $2,000. It hasn't softened at all. Yes, there have been volatility, but you could see the resistance at 1900, 1880 kind of range. So what we think would happen is, particularly when it comes to the Indian prices, is that we are now also getting into the season. In a couple of weeks, we'll be just right at the heart of the season. We expect the prices to perform very strongly.
All right. Well, I wasn't pushing you for prices, but you know what, Som, the way the quarterly range for gold is now working with, what we are hearing at Network 18 clearly is a range between 1,800 on the lower side to 2,500 on the higher side for the next 1 year. So that is what we are grappling with at this point in time. But your point is well taken. I also want to understand on what does the Indian gold demand now look like, because there are a lot of hopes on monsoon. August clearly has been a dampener, and September doesn't promise to be very strong as well. Does that change your stance on the rural buying?
Well, prices continuing to rise will obviously put pressure on the wallet. So the quantum of purchases might come down, recycling might increase. We saw 61% recycling increase in the second quarter, and that is the June quarter. So if the prices continue to rise, we will see demand continuing to be soft, but the inclination to buy will be there. You will have footfalls, but not getting converted to sales. But what is happening, Manisha, just want to give one more data point. Between last year, the quarter two, I'm talking about the June, and this year, prices have actually risen 12%. Okay, and this is without taking all the taxes and all that stuff into account. 12% has been the growth in the last 1 year in prices. So, and we have seen this. I don't even want to go back to talk about 2019. It's almost doubled. So the trend, whether you look at it as 3 years or you look at it as 1 year, it seems to be that gold is poised for a run. So if the consumers get convinced, yes, this is a good, below 60,000 is a good price to buy, you will have a very strong quarter four. We saw that in 2021. Of course, that is because a lot of savings were held up and then they just got unleashed. And you saw 345 tons in one quarter in December quarter 2021. We may see a repeat of that.
Okay. Just coming back to the fact that so whatever price view people may have, but there's one thing that almost everybody agrees on is that this is a must in your portfolio.
Yes, it is absolutely important, particularly given where we are headed. It's very difficult now to say you can trust this asset class or that asset class to always keep moving up. We all know equities is one of the best asset classes. Long term, I mean, it's important for the economy. The debt market has its own, it comes into flavor. It sometimes goes out of flavor. Equity is always in flavor. When you have that kind of risk-taking appetite, if you want to improve it, you are better off having gold in the portfolio and reckoning it. The more important thing is we buy gold and we forget it. We don't realize that gold has given you more risk-taking ability. That is where monetization of gold and gold-based financial products will probably give a fillip to the equity markets actually.
So there are various ways of buying gold, and even as we've seen government try and push financialization of this product, even then we see the physical buying continue to gain up, and add to that the fact that the hallmarking just has helped that even more because there's more credibility now. Personally, what would you say? I mean, I know the patterns don't change so easily, but how would you advise one buying gold and then investing in gold, and those are two different things?
Well, if you want to buy jewelry with gold, you must buy jewelry because that's required for social occasions, etc. But if you want to buy gold, to buy in the form of jewelry is not an optimal decision ever. You must buy jewelry when you really need it. You should buy gold in various other forms till you require jewelry. That will be a smart way of investing in gold, which means that if you are preparing for a wedding 5 years from now, you should probably keep it in the form of other forms of gold, not jewelry. Because closer to time, you'll get the new designs. You can use the gold. You have to exchange it. So that will be a better option. So ultimately, yes, everything gets converted into jewelry. In India in particular, even if you buy a bar or a coin, you always exchange it for a jewelry. But then the timing of that conversion could mean a lot. Today, the point is we just think of jewelry as the only form of buying gold because that's how the market has developed, and jewelers have done a fantastic job. But that probably is something an awareness can be brought even by the jewelers themselves.
Let me jump on to more macro then, and clearly global markets, we've seen central bank buying continue quite strong. For the Indian markets, its currency is a big thing because the rupee has been quite volatile as well. I mean, when it went to 83.20, we heard a forecast of 83.5 and even 84 and beyond, and now we are on the better side of 83, so better forecasts coming in. How would you look at, one, the currency moves, and second, the central bank buying? How would you see both of these points or fundamentals?
Yeah, the central bank buying is an extraordinary story. We have been hearing about it since 2018-19. We saw 645 tons and we thought that was a great buy. And then came 2022, where we saw them buying 1,000 tons. And this is not just one or two big central banks. This is spread across, even Singapore. You name it. All the central banks are now buying gold and diversifying their reserves. So that is an extraordinarily good story for gold. And with the rising prices. So we did a survey some time back about central bank buying, and most of them said that they expect their share of gold to rise. Okay. And that's what we are actually seeing. Even in the first quarter, we saw a very, very big jump, 103 tons. Although it was lower than the previous year, same quarter, 103 tons. So that is a very good story. Now, in terms of the second, what you asked is, what would you probably look at as a broader story on gold? I think we will see gold in 2023. We will see gold, the retail part coming back because even China has opened up. And of course, as I told you, India is a story which we will have to wait till the fourth quarter. So you may see a significant jump there. But let me also say that that does not necessarily mean that you will have higher imports, okay, while imports will rise. Because we saw in the second quarter a 61% jump in recycling. That could be a story again in quarter four, where people actually exchange jewelry because the marketing is good. People want to buy gold, but they can't all afford it. So it is possible that it is balanced by a higher degree of recycling.
And are you putting any number really on the year imports?
Well, no, imports is very, very difficult to say. But there is also one obvious point there, this recycling, how transparent can it be made? Now we have got exchanges. it is extremely important we focus on recycling because we have lots of gold. I mean, people give various estimates of how much gold India has, etc. And definitely a portion of it is ready for recycling. Provided the recycling market is transparent, it also gives some incentives. Today, what is happening is when you come for recycling, you lose the GST. Now, we need to do certain things about it because then the exchanges can actually bring these, recycled gold into the mainstream market.
So I'll come to a final question then. So how would you look at the overall Indian market right now? I mean, one thing specific to India is the import duty, which is something that the various levels at various numbers of duty that we seem to be dealing with right now. Do you see any change of that anytime soon at all?
Well, when you attend any of the events, I attended the India Gold Conference or anything, one thing is very clear, we just need a lot of complexity. We like a lot of complexity in this market. Everybody knows it. We really like a lot more rates and taxes so that, the conversation is all about if you import it this way, you get it 1% lower. If you import it this way, you get 0.5% lower. Now you wonder, the customers are there waiting for the best designs. Millennials are looking at it. Gold can be used in various other ways. Could we have a more stable approach to this tax part of it? And therefore, you just look only at customer value rather than how you import. You make more money through sourcing of gold now, or arbitrage in sourcing of gold, than by selling it in other forms. That balance has to shift.
Clearly, so many time can depend on having a sane voice coming in from you when it comes to the gold industry. Thank you as always for joining us here at Moneycontrol. We appreciate your time.
Thank you very much.